The receipt slides from the manila envelope, landing face up on Nora Harlow's kitchen counter. Hotel Lumiere, Chicago. One night, premium king suite with city view. Bottle of champagne. Room service dinner for two. All charged to Nora's Visa. All under her name. But Nora hasn't been to Chicago in 3 years. Her husband Miles has. 2 weeks ago, for what he called a quick business trip. Nora's fingers go numb as she reads the date on the receipt. Friday, May 17th. The same night Miles texted her a photo of himself supposedly working late at his office, takeout containers and spreadsheets spread across his desk, with the caption, "Miss you. Don't wait up, asterisk." She checks the time stamp on the receipt, 8:43 p.m. Then scrolls back to the text from Miles that night, 9:12 p.m. 29 minutes. Enough time to stage a convincing photo after checking into a luxury hotel with someone else. She drops into a chair, the air suddenly too thick to breathe properly. Their anniversary is in 3 days. 15 years of marriage. Her phone buzzes with a text from Miles. Running late. Meeting went long. Don't hold dinner. Love you. Her trembling fingers hover over the screen. For the first time in their marriage, she doesn't know how to respond. He's never given you reason to doubt him before? Dr. Riya Patel asks, her voice calm and measured as she sits across from Nora in her therapist's office the following day. Nora shakes her head, then reconsiders.
No.
Not really. She stares down at her hands. Maybe I wasn't looking. Tell me about your marriage, Dr. Patel suggests. Nora shifts in her seat. We met in graduate school. I was studying art history, Miles was getting his MBA. We've been together ever since. She tries to smile, but can't quite manage it. We were the couple everyone envied. The ones who had it all figured out. And now... Nora looks up. Now, I don't know what we are, or what we ever were. Back home, Nora moves through her studio like a ghost, touching her paintings without seeing them. The afternoon light falls across an unfinished canvas, a commission she needs to complete by next week. But the colors that usually speak to her are silent today. She sits at her computer and opens their joint credit card account. The statement shows the charge from Hotel Lumiere plain as day. $642.87. But that's not all. There's a gas station in Evanston, a late-night drugstore purchase, a rideshare at 2:18 a.m. A paper trail of a life she didn't know was happening. She clicks back through previous statements. Nothing obvious jumps out, but now she's questioning everything. The sound of the garage door opening sends a jolt through her body. Miles is home early. Miles Harlow moves through their house with the easy confidence of a man who believes he's getting away with something. At 43, he's still handsome, with just enough gray at his temples to look distinguished rather than old. His smile is warm as he greets her, brushing a kiss against her cheek that smells of expensive cologne and mouthwash. You're home early, Nora says, hating how her voice wavers. Thought I'd surprise you. Miles loosens his tie. The Henderson pitch was moved to next week, so I have the afternoon free. His gaze lands on her face, lingering a moment too long. Everything okay? You look tired. Just working. She gestures vaguely toward her studio. Deadline pressure. He nods sympathetically. You'll nail it. You always do. He heads toward the stairs. I'm going to change, and then maybe we can grab an early dinner? That new place on Maple you wanted to try. Sure, she says, because what else can she say? I know you've been cheating on me, and I'm trying to decide if our entire marriage has been a lie. Dinner is a blur. Miles talks about work, about his team, about the Henderson account. Nora watches his mouth move and wonders if he kissed someone else with that same mouth 2 weeks ago. She wonders if the woman was beautiful, if she was younger, if she was someone Nora knows. So, what do you think? Miles asks, cutting into his steak. Nora blinks.
About what?
About getting away this weekend for our anniversary. I was thinking Napa. We could fly out Friday morning, stay at that vineyard you loved last time. A weekend away. Miles setting up their anniversary plans like nothing has changed. Like he hasn't broken everything. I have a deadline, she says. Miles frowns. You can't push it back? It's 15 years, Nor. She takes a sip of her wine, buying time. I'll try. Later that night, Nora lies awake beside Miles, listening to his steady breathing. She remembers the early days of their marriage, how she used to fall asleep with her head on his chest, lulled by the sound of his heartbeat. Now there might as well be an ocean between them. In the darkness, she makes a decision. She won't confront him yet. Not until she has the full picture. Not until she knows exactly what she's dealing with. Morning comes too quickly. Miles kisses her goodbye, his routine unchanged. I'll be home for dinner, he promises. As soon as his car pulls away, Nora moves to his home office. She's never been one to snoop before. They've always respected each other's privacy, but those boundaries seem laughable now. She checks his desk drawers, his filing cabinet, the pockets of jackets hanging in his closet. Nothing. His laptop is password protected, but she knows the password. Or, at least, she thinks she does. His birthday doesn't work. Their anniversary doesn't work. She tries the name of his childhood dog, the street he grew up on, their address. Nothing works. When had he changed it?
And why?
She turns to his phone records next. Miles is still on her family plan, a remnant from when they first married, and she had better credit. The records show frequent calls to numbers she doesn't recognize. One in particular appears again and again, including multiple calls on the day of the Chicago trip. Nora writes down the number and, after a moment's hesitation, dials it from her own phone. Horizon Partners, this is Valerie. A woman's voice answers. Nora hangs up, heart pounding.
Valerie.
From Miles's office. His new assistant, the one he hired 6 months ago. The one he mentioned more and more frequently in conversation, until Nora realizes now he stopped mentioning her at all about 2 months back. She Googles Valerie and Horizon Partners and finds her immediately. Valerie Chen, 28 years old. Harvard Business School. In her photo, she's striking, with long dark hair and the kind of confident smile that says she's used to getting what she wants. She's beautiful in the way that makes other women feel instantly insecure. Nora stares at the photo, memorizing the face of the woman who might be sleeping with her husband. On Thursday morning, Nora sits in her car in the parking lot of Horizon Partners, her hands gripping the steering wheel. She's not entirely sure what she's doing here. Confronting Valerie seems reckless, but she needs to see them together. Needs to know if what she suspects is true. She waits until a little after noon when the lunch crowd begins to emerge from the building. And then she sees them, Miles and Valerie, walking side by side, closer than would be strictly professional. Miles leans in to say something, and Valerie laughs, touching his arm in a gesture that seems too familiar. Nora's stomach twists as she watches them walk to a nearby restaurant. She waits 15 minutes, then follows. Through the window, she can see them at a corner table, heads bent close together in conversation. There's an intimacy to their body language that can't be mistaken for anything but what it is. Then Miles reaches across the table and takes Valerie's hand. It's a brief gesture, but unmistakable. Nora feels it like a physical blow. She must make some sound, because a man passing by on the sidewalk asks if she's okay. She manages to nod, to smile, to pretend she's not breaking apart. Then she returns to her car and sits there, tears streaming down her face, until they emerge from the restaurant an hour later. Miles kisses Valerie quickly, furtively, before they part ways. Nora drives home in a fog, her mind racing through options. Leave him.
Confront him. Pretend she doesn't know.
None of them feel right. None of them address the burning question. Why her credit card? Why her name on the hotel reservation? It seems calculated to hurt her if discovered. Or incredibly sloppy. Neither fits with the Miles she thought she knew. When she gets home, there's a package waiting on the porch. A delivery from her favorite bakery, a box of the chocolate ganache cupcakes she loves. The card reads, Asterisk for the most talented artist I know. Can't wait to celebrate 15 incredible years. M***. She throws the cupcakes in the trash. That evening, Miles brings home flowers. Peonies, her favorite. His smile is wide, genuine. There's no hint of guilt in his eyes as he presents them to her. "Happy early anniversary," he says. Nora forces herself to smile, to accept the flowers, to play along. "They're beautiful. Thank you. I have a surprise for tomorrow," Miles says, loosening his tie. "Pack a bag. Something nice for dinner, casual for daytime. We're staying overnight." "Where are we going?" she asks, wondering if he'll take her to the same hotel where he took Valerie. Miles grins. "It's a surprise. But I promise you'll love it." She nods, not trusting herself to speak. The walls of their home, the home they've created together over 15 years, suddenly feel like they're closing in on her. "I need some air," she says, grabbing her keys. "I'll be back soon." She drives aimlessly, eventually finding herself at her friend Tara's house. Tara has been her best friend since college, the godmother to the children she and Miles never ended up having. If anyone will know what to do, it's Tara. "Jesus," Tara says when Nora finishes telling her everything. They're sitting on Tara's back porch, glasses of wine in hand. "Miles? Are you sure? I saw them together." He kissed her. Tara shakes her head. "I just can't believe it. You two always seemed so, I don't know, solid." "That's what I thought too." Nora takes a sip of her wine. "He's planning something for tomorrow. For our anniversary. I don't know if I can go through with it." "What are you going to do?" "I don't know. Part of me wants to confront him. Another part wants to just disappear. Pack a bag and leave." Tara reaches over and squeezes her hand. "Whatever you decide, I'm here for you."
But Nora?
"Don't let him gaslight you. You saw what you saw." When Nora returns home, Miles is already in bed, reading glasses perched on his nose as he reviews some document on his tablet. He looks up when she enters the room. "Feel better?" She nods. "Just needed some fresh air." "Come to bed," he says, patting the space beside him. "Big day tomorrow." She changes into pajamas and slips under the covers, maintaining as much distance between them as possible. Miles sets his tablet aside and turns off the light, then reaches for her in the darkness. "Not tonight," she says, turning away. "Headache." "Of course," he says, and she can hear the hurt in his voice. It takes everything in her not to laugh at the absurdity of it, that he could feel hurt by her rejection while carrying on an affair. She lies awake for hours, listening to Miles breathe, wondering how many nights he's lain beside her thinking of someone else. Friday dawns bright and clear. Their anniversary. 15 years since they stood in front of family and friends and promised to love each other for the rest of their lives. Miles is cheerful at breakfast, refilling her coffee cup without being asked, making plans for their day. "We'll leave around 10, he says. "Should be there in time for lunch." "Where are we going?" Nora asks again. Miles smiles. "You'll see." She goes through the motions of packing a bag, selecting a black dress for dinner that Miles has always loved, though she has no intention of wearing it now. She moves on autopilot, one part of her brain screaming while another remains eerily calm. They drive north along the lake shore, Miles chatting about work, about plans for the summer, about a potential trip to Italy in the fall. Nora responds minimally, watching the scenery pass by and wondering what she ever did to deserve this betrayal. 2 hours later, they pull up to a familiar building, the Hotel Lumiere in Chicago. "Remember this place?" Miles asks, handing his keys to the valet. "Our first weekend away together? I thought it would be romantic to come back." Nora stares at the hotel's elegant facade, unable to speak. This is where he brought Valerie 2 weeks ago. And now he's brought her here, using their history together as cover. "Nora?" Miles touches her arm, concern in his eyes. "Are you okay? You've been quiet all morning." "I'm fine," she manages. "Just taking it all in." The lobby is as luxurious as she remembers from years ago, all marble and crystal, with staff in crisp uniforms moving efficiently about. Miles approaches the reception desk, his arm around her waist in a gesture that now feels possessive rather than loving. "Checking in," he says to the receptionist. "Miles and Nora Harlow." The young man taps at his computer. "Yes, Mr. Harlow. We have you in one of our premium king suites with a city view. Just as you requested." He hands over key cards. Enjoy your stay. Nora follows Miles to the elevator, her mind racing. Is this the same room where he stayed with Valerie? Is he really so cruel, so thoughtless? Or is this some elaborate attempt to cover his tracks, bringing his wife to the scene of his infidelity to somehow normalize it? The suite is gorgeous, spacious, and elegant, with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Chicago skyline. A bottle of champagne waits in an ice bucket. A bouquet of peonies sits on the coffee table. It's all so perfect, so thoughtful, and completely meaningless. What do you think? Miles asks, wrapping his arms around her from behind. Worth the drive? She steps away from him. Why did you bring me here, Miles? He looks confused. For our anniversary. I thought it would be special to come back to where we... No, she cuts him off. Why did you bring me to the exact same hotel where you brought her 2 weeks ago? The color drains from Miles's face. What are you talking about? Nora retrieves the hotel receipt from her purse and holds it out. You didn't even use a different credit card.
You used mine.
Her voice breaks on the last word. My name. My card. Did you think I wouldn't notice? Or did you want me to find out? Miles takes the receipt, staring at it as if he's never seen it before. Nora, this isn't. Don't.
She holds up a hand.
I saw you with her yesterday. At lunch. You kissed her outside the restaurant. Miles sinks down onto the edge of the bed. It's not what you think. Then what is it? She's surprised by how steady her voice sounds when she feels anything but steady inside. Explain it to me, Miles. Explain how this receipt ended up in my credit card statement. Explain why you've been calling Valerie every day for months. Explain why you kissed her yesterday if it's not what I think. He runs a hand through his hair, a gesture so familiar it makes her heart ache despite everything. I never meant for any of this to happen. That's not an explanation. That's an excuse. Valerie and I. He trails off, seemingly searching for words. It just happened. We were working late one night and... Spare me the details, Nora interrupts. How long? Miles won't meet her eyes. 3 months. 3 months. A quarter of a year. All those nights he worked late. All those weekend meetings. All those business trips. And bringing her here? Using my name? My credit card? What was that, Miles? Some kind of sick joke. He looks up then, confusion evident on his face.
What? No.
I never. He stops, realization dawning. Oh, God. Nora, I didn't book that room. Then who did? Santa Claus. Valerie must have. She had access to your credit card information through the office records. She must have. Don't you dare blame her for this. Nora cuts in. You're both responsible. I'm not blaming her. I'm explaining. Miles stands, moving toward her, but stops when she backs away. Nora, please. Let me explain. Yes, I've been seeing Valerie. Yes, it was wrong. But I never gave her your credit card. I would never do that to you. But you would cheat on me. The words hang in the air between them. You would lie to me for months. You would bring another woman to the hotel where we first. She can't finish the sentence. Did you ever love me at all? Of course I did. I do. Miles looks desperate now. Nora, this was a mistake. A stupid, terrible mistake. But it doesn't erase 15 years together. Doesn't it? She picks up her bag. I think it does. Where are you going? Home. Or to Tara's. Anywhere but here. She moves toward the door. Don't follow me, Miles. Nora, wait. He sounds panicked now. Please. We need to talk about this. She turns back to look at him, at this man she thought she knew better than anyone in the world. There's nothing to talk about. It's over. Don't say that. Please. He's crying now, tears tracking down his face. I'll end it with Valerie. I'll do whatever it takes. Just don't leave. You already ended our marriage, she says quietly. You just didn't have the courage to tell me. She walks out, closing the door behind her. In the elevator, she pulls out her phone and books a rideshare back home. 3 hours. She'll use the time to figure out what comes next. But as she crosses the lobby, a familiar figure catches her eye, Valerie Chin, elegant in a fitted black dress, entering the hotel from the street entrance. Nora freezes, watching as Valerie approaches the reception desk. "I'm meeting someone," Valerie tells the receptionist. "Miles Harlow." "Yes, Ms. Chen. Mr. Harlow checked in about 20 minutes ago. Suite 1214. Thank you." Valerie turns away from the desk and sees Nora standing there. Recognition flashes across her face, followed quickly by uncertainty. Nora should leave, should walk away, and never look back. But something keeps her rooted to the spot as Valerie approaches. "You must be Nora," Valerie says, her voice softer than Nora expected. "I've seen your photo on Miles's desk. And you're Valerie." Nora is surprised by her own composure, his assistant, and apparently much more. Valerie has the grace to look uncomfortable. "I'm sorry you had to find out like this." "How did you think I would find out? Or did you think I never would?" Valerie glances toward the elevators. "Miles said he was going to tell you this weekend. That's why he brought you here. To end things properly." The words hit Nora like a physical blow. "He brought me here to ask for a divorce? He didn't tell you?" Valerie looks genuinely surprised. "He said he was going to tell you everything. That's why I came. So we could talk to you together." Nora feels dizzy suddenly, the lobby seeming to tilt around her. Miles hadn't been trying to cover his tracks by bringing her here. He'd been planning to end their marriage in the very hotel where they'd once been so happy. "Are you okay?" Valerie reaches out as if to steady her, but Nora jerks away. "Don't touch me," she says, her voice low and dangerous. "Don't you dare touch me." Valerie steps back. "I'm sorry. This is all. I didn't expect to see you down here. Miles said you'd be talking upstairs."
"Plans change," Nora says. "He's all yours now."
She starts to walk away, then turns back. "One more thing. Did you book a room here 2 weeks ago under my name? Using my credit card?" Confusion crosses Valerie's face.
"What? No."
"Why would I do that?" "Someone did." "It wasn't me." Valerie looks genuinely perplexed. "Miles handled the reservations when we came here." Nora stares at her, processing this information. "Miles booked the room in my name? Using my credit card?" "I guess so. I didn't see the details. I just met him here." Valerie shifts uncomfortably. "Look, I should go up. Miles is waiting and—" "Of course. Don't let me keep you." Nora steps aside, watching as Valerie walks to the elevators, her heels clicking on the marble floor. Once Valerie is gone, Nora approaches the reception desk again.
"Excuse me."
"I'm Nora Harlow. My husband and I checked in earlier today, but there seems to be some confusion. We also had a reservation 2 weeks ago on May 17th. Could you confirm that for me?" The receptionist checks his computer. "Yes, Mrs. Harlow. You had a reservation on May 17th for one night, which was fulfilled. And you have a reservation for this weekend, checking in today and departing Sunday." "The May 17th reservation. Who checked in?" The receptionist looks uncomfortable. "I'm afraid I can't disclose that information for privacy reasons. It was under my name, on my credit card." "Yes, but please." Nora leans in, lowering her voice. "My husband is having an affair. I need to know if he used my name and my card to book a room for himself and another woman." The young man's expression softens with sympathy. He glances around, then types something into his computer. "The guest who checked in on May 17th under your name was—" He hesitates. "It was you, Mrs. Harlow. At least, a woman claiming to be Nora Harlow checked in. She presented ID and the credit card matching the reservation." Nora steps back, stunned. "That's not possible. I wasn't here. I'm sorry, but our records are clear. If someone was impersonating you, that's a matter for the police." Impersonating her, using her ID and her credit card. Nora thinks of Valerie's confusion when asked about the reservation. If Valerie wasn't the woman who checked in pretending to be Nora, then who was? She thanks the receptionist and walks away, her mind racing. Outside, She cancels her rideshare and sits on a bench in the small park across from the hotel, trying to make sense of everything. Miles was planning to leave her for Valerie. That much was clear now. But the mystery of who checked into the hotel under her name 2 weeks ago remains unsolved. She pulls out her phone and scrolls through her contacts until she finds the number for Detective Sarah Galloway, an old college friend who now works for the Chicago Police Department. It's time to get some real answers. 1 week later, Nora sits in Detective Galloway's office, staring at photographs spread across the desk. "We pulled the security footage from the hotel," Sarah explains. "This is from the night of May 17th. She points to a still image of a woman at the reception desk. The woman has her back to the camera, but her hair is the same color and length as Nora's. And this is from the hotel bar later that evening. The second photo shows the woman clearly, similar enough to Nora that a stranger might mistake them, but obviously not her to anyone who knows her well. And sitting across from this woman is Miles, looking relaxed and intimate. Do you recognize her?" Sarah asks. Nora shakes her head.
No.
"But she's definitely not Valerie Chen. We identified her as Renee Lewis. Does that name mean anything to you?"
No.
Nora frowns, studying the photo more carefully. "Should it? Probably not. She's a professional. Escorts like her rarely use their real names anyway." "An escort?" Nora looks up in shock. "Miles hired an escort who looks like me? It appears that way." Sarah gathers the photos together. "We spoke with Ms. Lewis. She confirmed that she was hired by Miles Harlow to impersonate his wife for the evening. She was given your ID and credit card to use for checking in, with instructions to return them to Miles immediately afterward." "But why? Why would he do that?" According to Ms. Lewis, Mr. Harlow told her it was for a role-playing scenario. He claimed he and his wife were trying to spice up their marriage. Sarah's expression is carefully neutral. She said it wasn't the strangest request she's had. Nora feels sick. So while he was sleeping with Valerie, he was also hiring escorts to pretend to be me? "Just the once as far as we can tell," Sarah says. "But there's more. Ms. Lewis also told us that Mr. Harlow recorded their encounter." "Recorded it? You mean like a sex tape?" Sarah nods. "She said he set up a camera in the hotel room. Told her it was part of the fantasy, that his wife would watch it later." Nora leans back in her chair, trying to process this new information. "That doesn't make any sense. Why would he record himself with an escort pretending to be me?" "I can think of a few possibilities," Sarah says carefully. "None of them particularly flattering to your husband." "Tell me." "It could be simple, a fantasy about sleeping with two of you. Or it could be more calculated, creating evidence of your supposed infidelity that he could use in divorce proceedings. Or blackmail material." "Blackmail? Against whom?"
"You."
"Or perhaps Ms. Chun. We don't know who the intended audience was." Sarah leans forward. "Nora, has Miles asked for a divorce yet?"
"No."
"He's been calling and texting nonstop since I left him at the hotel last week, begging for another chance." Nora runs a hand through her hair. "I haven't responded. I've been staying at Tara's." "And Ms. Chen?" "I don't know. I haven't spoken to her since that day at the hotel." Sarah gathers her papers together. "Well, we have enough to charge Mr. Harlow with identity theft and fraud for using your ID and credit card without permission. Whether you want to pursue that is up to you." "I need time to think," Nora says. "Of course." Sarah walks her to the door. "Call me if you need anything." That evening, Nora returns to the home she shared with Miles for the first time since their anniversary. The house feels different now, empty of the life and love she once thought filled it. She moves from room to room, seeing everything with new eyes. In Miles's office, she tries his laptop again. This time, when prompted for a password, she types Valerie. The screen unlocks. She spends hours going through his emails, his documents, his browser history. The picture that emerges is of a man living a double life, telling Valerie he was leaving his wife while simultaneously trying to create a scenario that would give him leverage over both women. In a hidden folder, she finds a video from the hotel room. Miles with the escort who looks like her. It's staged to appear as if Nora is having an affair, complete with artificial timestamps that would place it during a period when Miles was supposedly out of town. She deletes the video without watching it. Then she finds something else. Emails between Miles and a private investigator, hiring him to dig into Valerie's background. It seems Miles had suspicions about his mistress as well. The PI's report reveals that Valerie has a history of workplace relationships with married executives, followed by harassment claims and settlements. Miles was playing a dangerous game, creating insurance policies against both women in his life. The sound of a key in the lock startles her. She closes the laptop as Miles enters the office. Nora. He stops short, surprise and hope mingling on his face. You're home. Not for long, she says, standing. Just getting some things. Please, can we talk? I've been trying to reach you for days. He looks haggard, with dark circles under his eyes and stubble on his usually clean-shaven face. I made a terrible mistake. With Valerie. With everything. But I love you. I've always loved you. Is that why you hired an escort who looks like me? Had her use my ID and credit card? Recorded yourself with her to use against me later? She watches the color drain from his face. Detective Galloway showed me the security footage, Miles. They found Renee Lewis. She told them everything. Nora, I can explain. Don't bother. I found her emails. The ones with the PI about Valerie. The ones setting up your little scenario at the hotel. She shakes her head. You were never going to leave me for her, were you? You just wanted leverage over both of us. Miles sinks into a chair. It wasn't like that. I was protecting myself. From what? Your own actions. Valerie was threatening to tell you everything if I didn't leave you for her. The PI found out she's done this before, seduced married executives, then blackmailed them or filed harassment claims. I needed insurance. And me? What did you need protection for with me? He looks away. I was scared of losing everything in a divorce. So instead of simply not cheating on me, you created fake evidence that I was cheating on you? The absurdity of it almost makes her laugh. How did you get my ID and credit card? Took them while you were sleeping. Just for one night. I was going to put them back before you noticed, but then your new card arrived in the mail before I could. He looks up at her, desperation in his eyes. Nora, I know I messed up. Terribly. But we can get past this. 15 years, that has to mean something. It did mean something, she says quietly. Until you decided it didn't. She walks past him to the door. I'm filing for divorce, Miles. And if you try to use that video or any other fabricated evidence against me, Detective Galloway has a case file ready to go. Identity theft. Fraud. Maybe even blackmail. Your choice. Nora, please. Goodbye, Miles. She walks out without looking back, feeling lighter than she has in weeks. 6 months later, Nora stands in a gallery in downtown Chicago, watching as patrons move among her paintings. Her new collection, titled Paper Trail, explores themes of betrayal, discovery, and rebirth. The centerpiece is a large canvas showing a woman piecing together torn receipts and documents, reconstructing her own history from fragments. It's powerful work, a voice says beside her. She turns to find Sarah Galloway admiring the painting. Thanks for coming, Nora says, smiling at her friend. And for everything else. How are you doing? Sarah asks. Better. The divorce was finalized last month. Miles didn't contest anything once he realized I had all the evidence. She looks around the gallery. And this show has been therapeutic, turning pain into something beautiful. And Valerie? Left Horizon Partners after Miles was forced to resign. Last I heard, she's working for a firm in New York. Nora shrugs. I almost feel sorry for her. She was being played too in her own way. Sarah nods toward the gallery entrance. Your date's here. Nora follows her gaze to see Ethan Walsh, a curator she met during the preparations for the show. He catches her eye and smiles warmly. He seems nice, Sarah observes. He is. It's new, but promising. Nora feels a flutter of hope, something she hadn't expected to feel again so soon. We're taking it slow. Good for you. As Ethan makes his way toward them through the crowd, Nora thinks about the paper trail that led her here, a hotel receipt that exposed not just her husband's infidelity, but his true character. A painful discovery that ultimately set her free. Nora, this is incredible, Ethan says as he reaches them, gesturing to the paintings. You've transformed something painful into something beautiful. That's the goal, she says, accepting the glass of champagne he offers. Taking the broken pieces and making something new. The gallery lights shimmer on the surface of her champagne, reminding her of another glass, in another place, with another man. But that's behind her now. Ahead lies a future she's creating for herself, one brushstroke at a time. She raises her glass in a silent toast to paper trails, to painful truths, and to the strength she never knew she had until she needed it.
And that wraps up today's story. Now we want to hear from you. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments, and let's see how far these stories reach. If this story moved you or gave you chills, give it a like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories. One last thing, rate the story from 1 to 10 in the comments. Your feedback helps us bring you even better ones next time. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you being part of this storytelling journey.